Hey everyone, it's Professor Clark, and in this lecture, we are going to learn our last case. We are going to learn the instrumental case. So after this lecture, you will have at least basic knowledge of all the cases in the Russian case system. Let's start off with a brief introduction to when, how, and why we use the instrumental case. The instrumental case, as you might guess from its name, is the case we use when we want to indicate instrument, that is to say, an action that is done with, by, or as something. And it can be used with or without prepositions. The most common preposition that it is used with, and the one that you're going to learn now, and that is most important for you, is the preposition "sa." And you've already seen "sa" plus genitive to mean coming from somewhere, but you can also use "sa" plus instrumental to mean with or accompanied by. So, for example, "Мы с братом часто едим пиццу." My brother and I often eat pizza, and this construction "мы с братом," which literally means we with brother, is how you say "my brother and I" in Russian. You can also say, for example, "Я люблю пиццу с грибами." I like pizza with mushrooms, and the pizza is с грибами, with mushrooms, because it is accompanied by mushrooms. It has mushrooms coming with it as a topping. We can also use the instrumental case without any preposition to indicate the actual instrument. This is how you show how you do something, what instrument you use to perform an action. For example, "Я ем суп ложкой." I eat soup with a spoon, and note there's no preposition here. And this means that your spoon is the instrument you use to eat your soup with. So if you say, "Я ем суп с картошкой," I eat soup with potatoes, the soup has potatoes in it. It is accompanied by potatoes. But "Я ем суп ложкой," no preposition, you are using the spoon as an instrument to eat your soup with. Or "Я ем пиццу руками." I eat pizza with my hands. Because there is no preposition, this means that your hands are the instrument you use to eat your pizza with. If you had pizza s rukami, that would mean they came with a topping of hands, just like pizza s gribami is pizza with a topping of mushrooms. So you want to make sure that you are clear whether you are using your hands as the instrument to eat this pizza, in which case it is no preposition, or your pizza is coming with a topping of hands, in which case you would have a preposition. For your purposes at the moment, the textbook mainly wants you to use the instrumental case with the preposition "sa" to mean with or accompanied by. Now let's go over the noun endings for the instrumental case. As usual, masculine and neuter collapse into one paradigm, and then you have feminine, and then you have plural. And we have hard endings and soft endings, as we always do. So for masculine and neuter nouns with hard stem endings, we are going to add om. If there's just a hard consonant at the end, as in the word brat, we just add om to it, so brat becomes bratam. If there is an o, then we drop the o and add om, or you can think of it as just adding an m, so akno becomes aknom. If we have a soft stem noun, we add yem if the ending is not under stress, and yom if the ending is under stress. And we will drop any ikratkayas or myakiznaks that come at the end. So geroi, ending with an ikratkaya, we drop the ikratkaya and add yem geroyem. Zanyatia becomes zanyatiyem. So you can think of it as dropping the ye and adding a yem, or you can think of it as just adding an m. Zanyatiya, zanyatiyem. And then kon, horse, is n-stressed, and so it becomes kon kanyom. Feminine is a little more complicated. For hard stem, it's very straightforward once again. We drop the a and we add oi. So sistra becomes sistroi, mama becomes mamoi. It's with the soft stem nouns that things are a little more challenging. If the noun ends in ya, then we replace the ya with a ye. So Anya becomes Anye. If, however, that final ya is under stress, we're going to add yoy, so that yo with the two dots over it followed by ikaratkaya. So simya, family, becomes simyoy. And then if you have a feminine noun that ends in a mjaki we actually keep the mjaki that remains, and we add u to it. So loshid, another word for horse, becomes loshidyo. And note the difference between the masculine and the feminine. The masculine nouns that end in mjaki have just the regular endings, the same as any other soft stem noun. So koin becomes kanyom, just like slovaryom, and it's the same basic ending as geroyem or zanyetium, it's just under stress. However, with feminine nouns, they have this completely different ending that we add to the mjaki this u ending. So loshids, loshidyu, ploshids, ploshidyu, titrads, titradyu, and so on and so forth. Also note the nouns mat, mother, and doch, daughter. They have that yer suffix that comes in, and so they become materyu and docheryu. And then when we go to the plural, gender no longer matters, but we maintain this distinction between hard and soft. And for all hard stem nouns, we're just going to add ami. So sistra becomes siostrami. And note this common pattern of disyllabic nouns having a stress shift in the plural. Akno, oknami, sistra, siostrami. And then most soft stem nouns will have the ending yami, but there are a few that will have the ending mi, mjaki m-e. So most of them, again, are going to have this yami. So we have geroyami, zanyatyami, kanyami, and simyami. And again, note the stress shift, koin, kanyami, simya, simyami. And then we have a few nouns, pretty much all feminine nouns ending in mjaki where we add a mi to the mjaki at the end. So loshids becomes lashids mi. Dvir, a door, becomes dvir mi. And then mat and doch can go either way. So mat can be either matirmi or matiryami. Doch can be either dechirmi or dechiryami. You will see both. Adjective endings in the instrumental case are much more straightforward than noun endings, as is normally the case. Once again, masculine and neuter are going to be together, and they are going to be either or im. So hard stem adjectives will become with an em, so novim, starim, golubim, maladim. And note that stress doesn't matter. Novi and stari are stem stressed, and goluboi and molodoi are end stressed, but they all become novim, starim, golubim, molodim. Soft stem will, of course, become im, so sinim, poslednim. Velar stem will, of course, become im because of the 7-letter spelling rule, so ruskim, kakim, plachim, strogim. And again, note that stress doesn't matter. Ruski and strogi are stem stressed, and kakoi and plachoi are end stressed, but they all become im. Husher stem will also become im, so charoshim, bolshim. We say but we write im. And stress here is not important. Both charoshi and bolshoi take im. Charoshim, bolshim. Feminine in the instrumental has the same endings that it does for all the oblique cases for adjectives. So for hard stem, it's oi, novoi, staroi, goluboi, maladoi. Soft stem is ye, sinye, poslednye. Velar stem is oi, ruskoi, kakoi, plachoi, strogoi. And then for husher stem, the 5-letter spelling rule is going to be in effect, and so stem-stressed adjectives will have yi, хороший, and end-stressed adjectives will have ой, so большой. And then plural for all genders is going to be ими for hard stem, новыми, старыми, голубыми, молодыми, and ими for all the others, синими, последними, русскими, какими, плохими, строгими. And then for the husher stem, if it ends in sh, we will say и, хорошими, большими, but we write и. So we write хорош ими and больш ими, but we say хорошими, большими with a hard и. Finally, let's take a quick look at pronouns and special modifiers. There is a chart with the full paradigm for all pronouns and special modifiers on page 325 of your textbook. But just as a quick overview, special modifiers largely take soft endings, so we have chim, che, chimi, maim, maye, maimi, tvayim, tvaye, tvayimi, and then nashim, nashe, nashimi, vashim, vashe, vashimi. So basically the same as soft stem or husher stem adjectives. But atet and adin are unique. They have soft endings for masculine, neuter, and plural, but hard endings for feminine. So etim with a soft e, etoi for feminine with a hard o, and then etimi with a soft e again for plural. And the same for adin, adnim, soft e, adnoi, hard o, adnimi, soft e again. And then personal pronouns have endings that are very similar to nouns, except for the third person, which are like the adjective endings. So your chart gives you the forms for a preposition because you are learning this with the preposition sa in this chapter. So we have sa mnoi, and note that it becomes se o before mnoi, so so mnoi. Of course, we say it quickly, so it's sa mnoi. S тобой, с ним, с ней, с нами, с вами, and с ними. Again, you can find a chart with all of these on page 325 of your textbook. And that is your quick introduction to the instrumental case. And like I said, you now know all the cases in Russian. There's still a lot more that you could learn about the cases, but you now know all the cases in Russian, at least on a certain level. And so your ability to use Russian and to create sentences and understand sentences has just taken a giant, giant leap forward.